I'm a tech recruiter at a Series A tech startup, and I'm blown away by how awful and inefficient the hiring process is for software engineers. While it does seem the market is changing for the better, I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to who have been hunting for over a year. And the stories they tell me about the different processes, irrelevant tech screens, and the lack of communication between the company, hiring manager, recruiter have been eye-opening. Looking for an engineering role right now seems like a soulless, energy-vamping BS process. I'm working on a side gig with some friends to help solve for this, and we're looking to hear from people about two things. Do you have a nightmare job search story you could share? What would you want the ideal job search process to look and feel like? Here's to hoping I'll be able to help you all someday. Ghosting. The amount of recruiters and hiring managers that are perfectly fine with ghosting candidates is really disappointing. They should have the backbone to send the rejection email. Most are looking for any opportunity to prove themselves, and thinking it's okay to give someone a glimmer of hope, then cut all contact after so many interviews is borderline sociopath behavior. After 1,500-ish applications, I was just given an offer letter last week after several interviews for a job across the country. I signed it and sent it back. They also gave me a start date in the offer, but they told me I can work remotely until I find an apartment. I started looking for an apartment immediately. A day later, I was told the position was put on a hiring freeze and best of luck with my job search. Thankfully, I had not quit my current bartending job yet or signed a lease. This could have been very bad, and there would have been no repercussions for the company. I can write a book on my experience, but I will probably be blacklisted by companies if not sued. Been on the job hunt for 2 months now. Company 1. Finished all rounds. Great feedback throughout. Was told to wait a week. 2 weeks later, they went with a different candidate. Company 2. I did great in all interviews. Again, great feedback. I was even told that I am a very strong candidate during one of the rounds. After I finished all the rounds, I was ghosted. It's been 2 weeks without any communication. Company 3. In the coding round, I finished the first 2 problems in no time. I communicated my thoughts and strategies before coding and passed all the tests. Third problem was a little tricky. I communicated my algorithm and almost reached there but couldn't complete it. Was told by the interviewer that I was close and it happens in a time crunch. He was basically looking for my problem-solving skills. Had a great chat with him and even went over time. Next day, I was rejected. At this point, I don't even know if I am doing anything right or wrong, so yeah, frustrated. Do I have a nightmare job search story? Yes. I have sent in over 2,000 applications. I've tried quite a few different resume formats. I need to work remotely. Relocating is not an option. Being in an office isn't an option with my kids. I can do the work. I have proven that by working as a volunteer with nonprofits. 2021 was great. In the last year and a half, not so much. What would you want the ideal job search process to look and feel like? Everyone gets basic UBI. Enough to pay for your house, transportation, food, etc. We all put our name into a system, our skills, and what we would prefer to be doing as a career. The system does its best to match us and assign us to that job. Pay is determined by the intensity of the job and the skills required. Hard labor would be very high pay. Software would be pretty good. CEOs would be almost nothing, and landlords have to pay into the system. Good luck on the side venture, but please do not create another lame job board that posts the same overly attractive jobs. It's like going from Tinder to Bumble to Hinge and seeing the exact same supermodels, athletes over and over. Might as well create Raya but for top-tier tech candidates. And cut out the participation trophy BS. I got my first job and stayed here over a year because job hunting is such a soul-sucking mess. It has been over a decade, the work is bad, the pay is bad, but job hunting is worse. Now is not the time to turn up your nose. There are almost no vacancies, and there are crowds of applicants. If you have lost your job, you will be ready to go through at least 25 stages of interviews with striptease, if only to get a job. Fall 2015, freshly graduated. I drive out to the middle of nowhere in Minnesota for a job interview. Office is in a poorly converted mildewy retail store. Furniture is old and not really what I would want to work with 40 hours a week. Old mismatched wooden chairs and randomly sized tables. Position starts at 40K, and the expected work hours are 50 plus, with 40 being approved for slow weeks. Got bad vibes, but had been searching for months, so I was desperate. Parked my car around the corner and called my friends for advice. I found out one of them had already gotten an offer there. He's excited to work with me, so he tells me he's gonna call them to accept. I got the didn't get the job call text before I even got 30 miles out of town. My friend who accepted was out within a month due to it being a toxic environment. I ended up getting a government job a month later that paid a solid amount more that ended up being an ideal first dev job. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is a new channel. Liking and subscribing is highly appreciated. See you in the next video. God bless.